Hey, hello everybody, eu sou Adir Ferreira e hoje chegamos ao último VEDA agora em abril, VEDA 30 e também com a última parte da série 60 expressões em 60 minutos. Eu espero que vocês tenham gostado do conteúdo desse mês e em breve a gente volta com mais vídeos inéditos, alright? Então a gente não vai perder mais tempo. Você sabe que esse conteúdo também está no blog, você pode acompanhar por lá também, o link está na descrição desse vídeo. Vamos aprender mais 10 idioms hoje, come on!
Get a fix on. If you get a fix on something, you locate it in an exact and accurate way. This meaning is used in specific technical situations like locating a lost airplane or ship or person. In a more general meaning, the idiom means to have an understanding of or concept about a person or thing. Example 1. After getting a fix on the hiker's location, we sent out a rescue team and saved his life. Example 2. We need to get a fix on the place where the aircraft crashed before we can plan a rescue mission. Example 3. John, I can't seem to get a clear fix on you and your new job. Do you like it or don't you? Example 4. She simply couldn't get a fix on organic chemistry, so she dropped out after the first week of class. Hanging a left, right. This idiom is used to give directions on how to go somewhere or how a journey has been done. It simply means to turn left or turn right. If you visualize a driver leaning into a turn, you will understand where it comes from. Example 1. If you hang a right on State Street, you'll be driving down one of the most famous streets in Chicago. Example 2. When you leave here, hang a left on Adams and then a right on Madison, and you'll see the theater. Example 3. She told me to hang a right at the third stoplight, but she was mistaken. That road took me away from the city. Example 4. When I hang a right, my car vibrates like it's going to fall apart. In a bind. The meaning of the idiom in a bind has a direct origin in a physical action. If a rope or a chain is in a bind, it is tightly wound and difficult or impossible to loosen or untie. If a person is in a bind, he or she is in a bad situation, which will be very hard to make better, but not impossible. Example 1. I am really in a bind because my professor lost my homework and I didn't keep a copy. Example 2. If she was ever in a bind for cash, she knew that she could count on her parents for some extra money. Example 3. John told his boss that he was in a bind. He hadn't started to work on the new assignment yet and was behind on his other work. Example 4. Don't get in a bind. Start your research paper early so you can get some help if you need it. Jump all over someone. The meaning of the idiom to jump all over someone is to reprimand or scold, usually in a cruel and impolite manner, possibly in public. If you literally jump all over something, you will injure, break, or destroy it. The expression follows through with the meaning in a figurative way. Example 1. John was shocked when the boss jumped all over him at the big meeting because he thought he was doing a good job. Example 2. If I jump all over one of my employees, I usually apologize for my behavior the next day. Example 3. Don't jump all over me. It won't improve my playing and I will still hate soccer. Example 4. When an authority figure jumps all over someone, it usually means that he or she is an ineffective leader. Keep one's mouth shut. If someone tells you to keep your mouth shut, then you are being told to be quiet, to say nothing about something, or not to make noise in a certain situation. It may refer to something specific and understood, or it could be more general and vague. It carries a threatening, impolite overtone. Example 1. John couldn't keep his mouth shut about the new product, and a competitor found out and made it to market first. Example 2. I expected my partner to keep her mouth shut on the witness stand, but she told the entire story of how we robbed the bank. Example 3. Now you have to keep your mouth shut. The prison guard is coming and he thinks we are asleep. Example 4. Here's a sentence you often hear in gangster movies. Just keep your mouths shut and no one will get hurt. Lame duck. If a duck is lame, it can't walk or move very well, if at all. The idiom lame duck refers almost exclusively to a certain situation. An official in a public office has come near to the end of his or her term of office, and as a result has very little power to make changes. This is not a position most politicians enjoy, but it is often part of the process. Example 1. During the last year of his presidency, he was a lame duck and he was not able to finish his plans. Example 2. Knowing she would be a lame duck, the mayor decided to resign from office early and retire. Example 3. The best way to avoid being a lame duck in office is not to get elected for another term. Example 4. No political figure wants to be a lame duck, but legally there are term limits, so there is no way around it. Make a mistake. If you make a mistake, you do something in error, in the wrong way, incorrectly. The idiom can be used with the as well, as in to make the mistake, followed by a phrase with of. The word can also be plural, as in mistakes. Example 1. Sheila made a mistake by telling her investors that the company was in good condition and then selling it at a loss. Example 2. John made the mistake of not telling his boss he was leaving work early, and he now has a written reprimand in his file. Example 3. I made many mistakes on my aptitude test that I will never be accepted into a good college. Example 4. Don't make too many mistakes on the driving exam, or you won't be able to get a temporary license. Off the record. A transcription of a meeting where a conversation can be done with notes written down, a tape recording, or just by having a good memory. If something is said to be off the record, it is said in a way that no recording of any kind is done, and complete privacy and discretion is expected. Example 1. Sheila told the reporter, off the record, that she was selling the company, but he broke the agreement and published the news anyway. Example 2. This is off the record, so don't say anything. But I know that John is looking for another job because he told me so. Example 3. If you promise to keep our conversation off the record, I'll give you a private interview. Example 4. He didn't pay any taxes on the profit he made because he was able to keep the whole transaction off the record. Par for the course. The idiom par for the course means in an expected way, according to expectations. It comes from the game of golf, as does the idiom up to par, where par is the number of allowed strokes on a certain golf course. Example 1. When John's boss told him to do the whole project again, John felt that it was par for the course. It had happened before. Example 2. He insulted me last night when we were out with our friends, and it is getting to be par for the course. Example 3. If you feel like everything that happens in your relationship is par for the course, then you need a new approach. Make some changes. Example 4. My score on the exam was the same old par for the course, and I want to improve, so I will study much harder for the next one. Raise eyebrows. As human beings, no matter what part of the globe we're from, we express ourselves in similar ways. Body language is the same whether you speak English or Swahili, and this idiom is a great example. The act of raising the eyebrows means that you're surprised or shocked, and the idiom means the same thing without the actual physical expression. It has a connotation of disapproval as well. Example 1. As the daughter of a minister, Judy's teenage behavior raised some eyebrows in the small community. Example 2. My announcement raised eyebrows all around, but it was something I had to do. Example 3. Whether her choice to live with him will raise eyebrows or not, she is determined to do it. Example 4. As for the raising of eyebrows at my actions, I have no concerns.